thank you very much for coming today. And I think we'll probably just start with a larger question on where do you think, where do you see the market at the moment? What changes are coming? How are people moving? And probably more specifically around Google Cloud.
Yeah, well, it's a pleasure to be here today. I think in general, and this is not new, I think for decades, companies have just been struggling with big data. And I think in today's world, that's getting worse, right? Because there's more data collection point. Everyone expects access to data at all times. And enterprises have really struggled to solve this big data problem. So they don't just have to manage the data, they also have to secure it, they have to scale it, and then they have to find ways to find powerful insights to then help with decision processes. So I think that problem is just getting worse as we collect more and more data points.
I agreed. I mean, I think, the great statement from The Economist however many years ago, the data is the new oil. That's great, but it still needs refining. And you've got to make it usable, and you've got to make it, actionable. And I think, the verb from search has really changed, I think, in most people's lexicon to just Google that. So you really are the experts in big data and search. And I think it's so great, from a partnership perspective, when we bring the power of search and helping people tune that data, and some of the new announcements with integrations into BigQuery and your really sort of petabyte scale platforms. As you say, so much of the problem is around, we've got all this data, but we've got to make actions out of it. We've got to search it. If you're storing it, you want to find something later. Surely that's the reason you're storing it in the first place. And we're definitely seeing that sort of motion of people needing that petabyte scale ability to search, or just, a few gigabytes or even a few megabytes. There's still value for that, depending on what lens they want to apply to the data. Are you and how are you seeing the products and probably more that the people's motion to cloud? Is that something that you're seeing organizations take and embrace, or is it probably very varied by geography as to what's the speed of motion and the speed of migration?
Yeah, I think it's different, right? Per client, per country. When you look at the different regions, I think in particular retailers are under a lot of pressure to provide more competitive advantage. Now, how do you do that comes back to access to data. So when we look at the Google Cloud customer base, very often they start with, actually, we want to make more use of the data we already own, because they don't have real-time access, they can't search that data, and they don't actually access a lot of that data currently. So the first step is very often data related, providing insights, and it's very liberating for companies when they then can move that from an on-premise environment where they have to secure and control and manage that themselves and then scale, to a cloud environment where suddenly they know they can spend their time on the things that are important, and to really look at what data points, what data do we have to collect to provide a better service to the customers or to their employees even, because even employees are getting disrupted, because when they're at home, they have all their data points that they want on their mobile phone. When they go to work, often they don't. And I think this is where the market has to move much quicker than they have done in the past.
I think, again, from our experience, agree 100%. I think, whether you're looking at, search or analytics, because it's not only the data, it's the access to the data, and how do we make that more broadly available? Integrations into things like Looker, which we're currently sort of working on, just democratizes it throughout the organization. So departments that used to wait 48 hours or even days for access to data are now able to do it in real time, and the impact that has on organizations and how they grow and how they can interact with their customers, I think is incredibly valuable. And then, on top of that, the ability to, you mentioned it, to secure and to worry about all of those things, and how do we collate that data and again, make it available to those parts of the organization that are worried about the security or worried about, potential credit card fraud or whatever it is, unusual actors who are going through their retail platform or whatever sort of motion that is. I think it's very interesting. It's very interesting.
talk a little bit about who Elastic is and why you have such a prominent position, and of course going into the partnership with Google as well?
Yeah, I mean, it sort of, I suppose, it comes across as slightly strange when you're talking to Google that we are a search company. We've derived, a number of products from our core search engine. And really, I think, again, around a lot of the things that we've touched on today, for us, it's around that democratization of data and how whether it's enterprise search and allowing organizations to corral their data both on-prem and in the cloud so that people can find that data. We know it's such a large problem that organizations spend so much time creating things, and in 6 months no one knows where it is, or the person's left and we can't find all the work that they did and they put in. So we want to help with that. And then when you move into areas of tight integrations with Google Cloud and our ability to ingest logs and metrics data and everything to provide not only observability and keeping platforms up and working and functioning really well, but also security. We touched on it right at the beginning that one of the areas that organizations are so concerned around is securing their data. And I think when you've got two great organizations with Google and Elastic sort of partnering together on GCP, it gives such a great platform on which people can trust. And I think that word's the really crucial one, and trust to give them the information in real time, to allow them to act, to absorb enormous amounts of information of which they can then democratize that and consume it, and really move through all the different departments. But again, so from Elastic's perspective, we're a search engine, and from that we've built all these sort of core, I refer to them as lenses into the data to allow different parts of the organization to look at it. I think it'd be good to understand a bit about how does GCP sort of see Elastic from a partnership perspective, and where do we think we might go in the future?
Yeah, so it's really exciting relationship. So we've been partners since 2017, but only recently we announced tighter integration with products like Looker. Now, one of the really powerful things is where customers can ingest data straight from our cloud storage into Elasticsearch. This becomes more seamless for customers, where they can then combine their analytics projects with the Elasticsearch capability. So I think also having Elastic and the Elastic products on the Google Cloud Marketplace is a real benefit for Google Cloud customers and our joint customers. So they can really benefit from the Elastic and Google Cloud integrations, both in the marketplace, but also straight from the Google Cloud console. So we're really working on making it seamless for customers to use their data, not just for analytics, but also for search capabilities.
And I think that's really the crucial thing. It's the thing that we're so excited about is those tight integrations into so many of the great products that you've got, and your customers are already loving and using it at massive scale. And we want to make sure that we're bringing the best of breed that we can, and helping all of our customers really get the most out of their data. As we started off, that conversation around data is so crucial, and that ability for everyone in the organization to be able to access it through the route that they are comfortable going, I think is so important and so valuable to organizations. And why I think from Elastic's perspective, we're so excited about the partnership with GCP and looking forward to the future and what that might bring.
Yeah, I agree. I think the future is bright. I think what we hear from customers is actually the ability to launch Elastic and deploy on Google Cloud, and not having to worry about the management of the infrastructure, or deploying new servers, because as we already said in the beginning, data and the amount of data is only going to increase. So I think jointly we really give customers a really good platform to build on the future and to give more insights into their data in a real-time fashion, which I think every company needs for competitive advantage in the market today.
Agreed. And I think, again, just sort of touching on the cloud side, backed by, best in breed engineers on the infrastructure side, and the Elastic engineers who are driven, to writing the code and making it, really as powerful and as integrated and as again, valuable as possible to our customers. So yeah, amazing. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, thank you.